Com'era affettuosa la nonna con me, anche il nonno. Andavamo sempre insieme alla querciola perché c'era molto affetto, molto bene. C'era un pochino di miseria, ma noi miseria non ne avevamo. Entrate. Vi offriamo un caffè, insomma, entrate.
Okay.
Venite. Mi ha fatto piacere.
Grazie.
I left my home in Thornbury, said goodbye to Ma and Pa. I rode those plains, they numbed my pains and struck me like a kiss. I will never call you, and you I'll never miss. But who'd have thought a piece of land could break my heart like this?
We are headed to Markwood, which is about 17 minutes out of Wangaratta, where I grew up and where my family home is. We're going to have a chat to my family and just get a better idea of, I guess, our family history and talk a bit about what it was like growing up in Markwood before we head overseas.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Dad. How are you? Caught Dad in his element. He's just feeding the cows. We'll just lay out a big hay bale and all the cows will just come home, I guess. They're all coming now, slowly making their way. He'll do this all day. Netball, so probably like 10 years. Played tennis and picked up basketball along the way and netball as well.
She had an umpire. It was very funny when she was doing umpiring because she did boundary umpiring and all the ruckman, when they see a girl coming, they'd run in and Darcy would throw it over their heads and they'd go watch it go over. Because she'd throw it probably 30 metres.
If I saw them come closer, I'd be like, I'm going to throw it over your head.
I said to the kids when they were little, I said, I don't care what you do, if you do, you do your best, I'll always be proud of you. And I think Darcy took it literally. And, like people say, Darcy's really good and all that, but I said, she just tries hard. I just think with sport, it's all about its mind over matter. Whenever I'm down and out, the kids can vouch for it. I go and watch Joe Fraser and Muhammad Ali because I just thought they were great sports people. Changed the world, did Ali.
I think when we were down in Melbourne once, Mum and Dad got us drawn by a cartoonist, and I got drawn in this red dress, and I remember I cracked it because Zeb was drawn in a footy jumper, so Mum photocopied both and put another one together of my head on Zeb's footy body, but I don't know if she's got it. I didn't think it represented me well.
Darcy all the time have a lot of energy. All the time.
Yeah, you did have a lot of energy. Did you always like that I played footy? Was it
That's
okay?
your father.
Yeah. You used to say, mangiare, giocare, cantare.
Allora, quando avete detto tu nella vostra, c'era la guerra, tanto, no?
Poi, quando c'era la guerra era brutta.
Come ha affettato a voi?
Una volta sono venuti i tedeschi e sembrava che venisse la fine del mondo. Tutti i cannoni, le medaglie, per la strada. Allora il papà nostro ha chiamato i boys per mettere bestie in le stalle, per noi tutti in e siamo stati poi quando sono arrivati hanno cominciato a fare le buche per si nascondere, poi hanno cominciato a venire gli aerei, a paura di venire. Allora hanno cominciato, sparavano con il cannone, sparavano con il tagliavano, quando venivano gli apparecchi sparavano, non hanno caduto però.
56 e sono venuto allo stadio.
56.
Io.
Yeah.
E poi 42, 58, 59 ancora.
Yeah. Ok.
I fratelli miei sono partiti.
Non c'era nessuno.
No.
Allora perché avete fatto questa decisione di venire all'Australia? Come vi trovavo l'anno che avete fatto?
Non potevo lavorare su quello stacco le due persone.
E venivano, si chiamavano, come dire,
Santa Teresa.
uno chiamava Annato, diceva, quello diceva, di questo paese di Cusciente, dice, è emigrato. Emigrava, partiva, era all'Argentina, all'Australia.
Come ti sentivi?
Mi sentiva, ma andiamo a
Perché spagnava in, cioè no.
Oh yeah.
Difficile quando tu sei venuta a Melbourne e tu non sapevi
Certo.
Doveva dire come fare.
per parlare puro.
Per parlare.
If you lived in Murlford or in one of the townships, you might learn a bit more English. But for someone like Mum living out here, very hard to no licence. Like Mum and Dad, all they used to do was get up in the morning and go to work. Even Mum, worked as hard as Dad. I go to Wang and see some of my mates in Wangaratta in later in years, and they wake up in the morning and they go, "Oh, make me a coffee," to their mother. Mum never made me coffee.
Oh, no.
She didn't have time. Dad'd be up, Mum'd be up. We'd be doing stuff. Even Nick used to have to hoe tobacco, and when we talk about hoeing tobacco, you actually use a hoe, and you go around each plant, and you have to hoe, cultivate around the plant. And in one row there might be 1,000 plants, and sometimes Nick used to do 2 rows before he'd go to school.
I remember it probably wasn't until I was in high school when I saw my friends talking to their grandparents and talking about what they're going to do at uni and just everything else that's happening in their lives, and they're just conversations that I wouldn't have with my nonna and nonna, just because of, I guess there's that sort of language barrier. But nonna can't read or write, she can't drive, but she's easily one of the most influential women in my life, and she's taught me so much. I can't imagine doing that, let alone having to look after those kids while Nonna was trying to find his way in Australia. It would be the hardest thing, so much harder than anything I've ever had to do.
Pensi tu da Darcy Dradi?
It's all right. Ho visto tante cose. Ma il che ora è happy quando vado back and open up the eye, not trust it very much.
Moj ci avete una cosa che vuoi quando Darcy va a Dradi, tu ne sai che già Darcy c'è stata alla casa dove sei stato tu o...
Vede tante cose. È very happy e poi mi dice something back to me.
Language.
He's a hay bimbo.
You've gone a bit further than me and Caesar.
No, not at all.
You've done well.
You've done very well.
Made the Saints prayer, Jeff.
Thanks.
I still remember when we won the under-14s grand final. I looked over and you were crying. I couldn't get why you were crying. Remember that? I said, Darcy, what's the matter? She goes, oh, I've always wanted to win a grand final. This is my last game. We can't play under-16s. And we fought tooth and nail to change the rules, but we never won.
Yeah, I was lucky that you two were looking out for me.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen some impressive kids in my time, mate, but whether you're a girl or a boy, it was amazing. I'm very proud to have known you. And it was something that you sort of don't forget. I don't anyway.
The game that I remember most vividly about, you kicked 7 by half-time.
It might have been my first game.
I remember going out there and they said, who's playing on Darcy? And none of them would put their hand up.
Because I remember feeling quite nervous and I was like, oh, I need to play well. Like I need to sort of.
You kicked a couple over your shoulder and made them look like idiots, but anyway.
I knew her dad before they come here, and my first impressions of Darcy when she came here, I said, we've got a girl playing, this will be interesting. And I think we watched the train for about 5 minutes and my mind was made up. So this is going to be exciting.
When you got on the footy ground, you actually looked like you felt this is where you should be. And it's good to know that you look back on it as being accepted as just another player.
Yeah, well, looking back, like I remember maybe pre-game or post-game, that's when the biggest difference was, because I'd sort of have to get changed elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like when the game would end and we'd sing the song, then I'd duck out because I didn't want to be there when the boys were getting changed or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that, like whereas on the field, like you're all just playing footy, so there's no real differences or divides there.
Yeah.
But I always felt like the boys, they were really considerate. It was through your guidance as well, like because you set the tone about how you want the team to be.
Everyone's on an equal footing and given an equal chance. Well, they should be anyway.
Good to see where you've got to. It really is. You're one of a kind, mate, that's for sure.
We're here down in Templestowe at my gung's house, who's my mum's dad. We're here to learn a bit more about his life before we go overseas. I actually lived here for about 3.5 years when I first moved down from Wangaratta. So yeah, I feel like I've gotten to know Gung, but I don't fully know his story. What was your life like in China? Can you remember what it was like?
Everybody won there.
Was your family quite poor?
You get the market, get some water to free time of day. Take the water home, cooking, washing.
Well, were you always a farmer from when you were a young boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I finished school, I got a little buffalo.
A little buffalo? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the buffalo's name?
I haven't got a name on it, just buffalo.
Just buffalo.
Yeah, well, when they're little,
Yeah.
they grow up. I try to go to dig the field.
Oh, you trained it. How did you feel when the Japanese invaded? How did that affect your family?
Hey, funny thing, the Japanese go in, the Chinese people fight them. When they're gone, they go out that another town. The Chinese control again.
So they just ran away and then they came back. And what made you go to Hong Kong?
Nothing much to do, home. Then I go to Hong Kong, learn the Tyler. A couple of years. Then I come here.
How come you left Hong Kong?
Might be more come outside Hong Kong, get a job easier. I have to pay for the few $100 for the Tyler shop to learn over there.
So you paid to learn from them and to work there? Like you didn't get any money at all for the work you were doing?
They look after you, meal, that's it. Funny thing, in the night time, you haven't got public bed. You sleep in a stock bed and Japanese live behind it.
What did you think when you came to Australia? Because you came here on a boat.
Yeah.
What was the boat like?
Only small little boat. Take me 1 month.
Crowded?
She said.
You were seasick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too small the boat.
Were you scared or did you feel okay coming to Australia because you were away?
Okay, more easy job. You got a job. In China you can't find a job. Not easy.
Yeah. It's hard hearing like Gung talk about that stuff, but yeah, it's sort of difficult to fully grasp it because he's quite an emotionless person. Like he's been through so many hard things, but he doesn't really talk about it in a way where other people might get really emotional about that sort of thing. So you sort of have to put yourself in his shoes to really understand the gravity of what him and his family had to go to, because he sort of just plays it down as, you know, just something he had to do. Like, I have no idea what Hong Kong's like, so I'm excited to see it, and the closer you get to these sites, the more you feel sort of what he would have perhaps been through, and you're able to sort of piece it together in your own mind and I guess get to know your family a lot better. Did you ever think we'd get to do something like this?
No way.
What are you most excited about?
Probably going to Conflenti, only because Nono and Nonna have spoken so much about it, whereas my dad hasn't really spoken a lot about his background.
Yeah, learning more about their lives will help me understand you and Dad a lot more as well.
Yeah.
But I guess you'll get to learn a lot more about Gung as well, because like you started working at the market when you were really young.
That's right.
Yeah. How old were you when you started?
I was probably late primary school. Yeah, I thought everyone worked for their parents and did those ridiculous hours.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And when you asked me to do the vacuuming or something, I'm like, no.
Whereas you guys, you've got so much opportunity.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, look what you're doing now.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like, I never ever imagined that I'd be playing footy, let alone being taken overseas to
I
learn
know,
about.
when you look at the journey that you've taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, how different it could have been.
Mm. Got an opportunity to walk through the streets for the first time today in Hong Kong, and you sort of get a sense of how busy it is here, and everyone's sort of just hustling around. They've all got their own family businesses, it looks like. It's completely different to the way I grew up on the farm, which was really serene and calm. Yeah, I can't imagine if Gung had have stayed here, what it would be like growing up here. It's just completely different to what I'm used to. When I got to chat to Gung the other day, and what he's said in the past was that, you know, the boat he got on was tiny and there were so many men, women and children just packed in. It sort of feels funny trying to compare my own life with what Gung had to go through. You know, I moved out when I was 18 and I thought that was a pretty big deal. It wasn't a hard decision for me, but it was hard being away from my family. But at the same time, I wasn't really away from them at all. He doesn't really make out that he was ever hard done by or he ever had a hard life. He's almost able to detach himself from the emotions he would have been feeling. Yeah, it's just so much bigger than probably anything I'll ever have to go through in my life, and I feel like my life's like a small little bubble compared to what my grandparents had to go through. It explains a lot about Mum as well. Like, Mum's not a very emotional person. All through growing up, I feel like Dad has always been the person who's expressed a lot more, whereas Mum
is pretty like matter of fact about everything. I feel like I'm sort of a blend of both. I don't think I'm overly emotional about things that I can make sense of, but then if something happens or something's said that just doesn't fit at all with my values, and that's when I get quite emotional about it. I feel like with Dad, even growing up, like he'd always talk about different things that were happening in society and how he didn't agree, or how, you know, it meant that for different groups of people that they had to live a lot harder than other people. I guess I care a lot about fairness. That's where it sort of all links in with football. It's all my life we've played footy, and it's just been for the love of the game. And I started to lose a bit of interest a few years ago, and then I got the opportunity to become a multicultural ambassador, and I sort of saw that that was an opportunity to impact things that I care about. And I feel like the past year I've sort of come to realise the influence you can have through sport in Australia, and just through playing women's footy you can make a difference in the things that you do care about. I've got a responsibility in that area to do what I can. I guess that's the difference between what I'm able to do and what Dad always spoke about. A lot of what Dad spoke about were almost like things that were out of his power, but I feel like us gals have an opportunity, and the power is in our hands to be able to make a difference.
I sometimes imagine, I wonder what it would be like if Gung hadn't moved to Australia and I'd been brought up here. Everything, it would have just been completely different. I just can't even imagine. Like, having spent a few days here, the busyness and the apartments,
Yeah,
I wonder if we could have been living there.
Hanging your clothes out from the 17th floor. Yeah, you wouldn't have met Dad.
No, I wouldn't have met Dad.
How did you meet Dad?
Well, I was teaching up in Wangaratta and met him in the pub. He was the barman though. Yeah.
So what? How did that go down?
Oh, it was good. How did that go down?
Mum, keep it G.
Sorry.
Bloodlines is G.
Well, it was really funny because Dad had always told Nonna that the girl he brings home will be the girl he marries. So he never brought a girl home. And then after he'd met me, apparently he'd said to Nonna that he was bringing a girl home. And Nonna said, Italiano? And Paul said, no.
No.
And then Nonna said,
Mum.
Australian. And Paul said, no. So Nonna was really stumped.
Oh no.
I know, isn't that funny?
This way. Yeah, I can make my face look pretty big. It's too many nice ones to choose from. It's impossible.
We actually the year first, the year. We actually the year. Okay, and this one. Your year is the good year, no problem. Good year that means the long life and the good health.
Oh,
but
great.
Year article, this one stick out. Very, very stubborn, too stubborn.
I'm very stubborn.
But very good nosy, big nosy for the future, the good financial, no problem. Okay? But sometimes you're a bit moody, bit temper.
Yeah, I'm a bit moody.
Sometimes you are very too honest. You are very straightforward person. Okay? And then the palm, the both palm. But in here I had the small circle. Small circle instead the minor surgery. Minor surgery. Have you looked at minor surgery before?
Not yet.
Not yet. Like for the future, if you never make any minor surgery, you be careful. Your hairline here from here very long. That means you are very independent. And very hard working.
Yeah.
You are not suitable the office job.
Yeah, no, I hate sitting down.
Office job
Not good.
More mobility, more outdoor.
Okay, maybe
Better.
just, yeah, okay.
If you sit the office, you are not interested.
No,
You can sleep there.
yeah.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're here in Litung Avenue, formerly known as Litung Street, and this is actually where Gung came when he came to Hong Kong, and he worked here as a tailor. Pretty different now, like it's completely redeveloped. Yeah, he worked here, slept here, and spent, I guess, his whole Hong Kong life here. I think you could pop Gung here and he wouldn't know where he is because it's so different. And when Gung spoke about it, you sort of imagine it being really small, like lots of small shops.
Yeah, and unmade roads.
And he couldn't even say which tailor shop he was in because there were so many. Yeah, it's pretty fancy. It's just I can't imagine how it would feel coming here and sleeping in the same bed as the people who had, you know, come to your country and really devastated your life and your family's life. It would almost be haunting. I don't know, it's so just out of anything that I have ever experienced. Thinking about it now and being here, I think going back home, I'd be able to start those conversations with him and he'd know that I actually have some understanding of it, and because I've tried to come here and learn about it. Although Litung Street's quite well developed, even just the last couple of days walking around the streets, there's like a lot of the areas are still quite poor, and you go 20 metres that way and it's completely different to what it is here. And Hong Kong's like that. You walk 100 metres one direction and it feels like a complete other world to where you've been just standing. I feel like I can get a sense of why he would have wanted to pack his bags and keep moving, just for the pure opportunity of creating something more. A lot of Gung's life in Hong Kong and China was affected by the Japanese occupation. So we're here at the Hong Kong University to talk to Professor John Carroll, who specialises in Japanese studies, and just to get a broader understanding of what it would have been like during that time.
So what made you get interested in your family history?
Well, I think I've always been a little bit interested, but I guess I've held back from asking just because I don't really know what my grandparents would be comfortable talking about. Like I feel like I've got a close relationship with them, but I guess as you grow older, you sort of start to become a little bit more curious about your family history and how they've shaped you. And I guess if I have a better understanding of that sort of stuff, then I'll get to know why Gung made those decisions.
Sure. So that's an unusual move, because in fact a lot of Hong Kong people would have gone the other direction. They would have gone to China after 1945.
Yeah, right.
My guess is that he probably came here just because the economy in Hong Kong was slightly better than it was in mainland China.
Yeah.
The years are a bit different. In most cases, people who came to Hong Kong from China did so in 1949.
Okay.
I haven't heard as much about people coming in 1945.
Yeah.
So he would probably be the one to give you the best answer there.
Yeah, right. He was a bit of a daredevil, I guess.
I guess so. I guess so. Do you know if he had any relatives who were already in Australia? Because the reason I ask is that Chinese from this part of China, from the Canton area, had been living in Australia since the mid-1800s.
Yeah, his granddad was already in Australia, so he did have some support there.
I mean, what we do know, though, is that whether it's on the Chinese side or the Italian side, when people emigrate, they usually do because there's somebody else there already. And it's what they call chain migration.
Yeah.
You move there because you have another relative, a cousin, an auntie, or somebody to help make things better.
And I suppose I wanted to gain some understanding as to why the Japanese occupied
China in the first place.
Right. The Japanese had been at war with China since 1937. Why the Japanese were interested in China was really a hard question. They were building their empire just like the British had been building an empire in Asia, including places like Australia.
Yeah.
The bigger question is why the Japanese were interested in Hong Kong, I think. And Hong Kong itself was of not much value, which is partly why I think the Japanese occupation period was so brutal in many ways. I think many Japanese soldiers simply didn't understand why they were in Hong Kong. Hong Kong really didn't have much to offer, but it was very important symbolically because the Japanese made it part of their mission to reclaim Asia for the Asians, and their idea was to drive out the Europeans, the white people, basically from the colonies throughout East Asia, and Hong Kong was one. So that was part of the game.
What would it have been like during that time? What was the surrounding like?
He would have found a place that was in very, very bad shape. Housing conditions were terrible. We had a population that had suffered for just between 3.5 and 4 years under the Japanese. It was a population that was undernourished, malnourished. Diseases were epidemic. Inflation was terrible. So it always kind of it surprises me that this is the place he would have come to.
Yeah.
It was although a place that was rebuilding. I think it's a combination. One, it was a place that was in very bad shape, but it was also a place that was full of optimism. People were ready to move on after World War II. One thing that makes Hong Kong different from other parts of Asia that had been run by the Japanese is that we never saw the large-scale war crimes trials that we did in other parts of Asia. We did have some here as well, but my argument that I've made in my own writing is that Hong Kong people were simply ready to move on.
And it seems like that's where Gung wanted to be. Like his village had been devastated by that, so he just wanted to start fresh and move forward with the people of Hong Kong.
Right. It's interesting to me that he chose to become a tailor. You may know that Hong Kong is actually one of the world's great tailor centers.
Yeah.
In fact, there's sort of a rivalry between the tailors from Canton and the tailors from Shanghai.
Tried to shoot straight to the top, sort of thing.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Again, it's hard to tell without knowing this man. It'd be great for him to come back sometime. I'd like to meet him.
He's a very interesting man.
Sounds like it. For many people, Hong Kong has always been a rather transitory place, right? It's a place where you come and you make some money, you stay for a little while, and then you move on.
Yeah.
So in some ways, your grandfather was stepping into the footsteps of people who had been doing this for over 100 years.
I wasn't sure coming into this Hong Kong trip what I would really get out of it, because I felt like, you know, Gung only spent a couple of years here, but I think it was really symbolic of Gung's life, this place here. I feel like I've got a lot more questions to ask Gung when I get home, and I think that we'll be able to go a lot deeper in conversation because I've got at least a basic, I guess, a foundation to go off, and having seen the places where he's been before, it's pretty extraordinary to think of the things that he's seen and the things that he's done in his life and the path that he's chosen. But I'm really excited to go to Italy because we actually get to go into the village that Nonna and Nonno came from. I guess I've never really explored that side of my grandparents. I feel like I'm getting to know them on a whole nother level now, and to sort of get to know what they did when they were younger and the sacrifices they made, so you know their children and their grandchildren can live the life that they lead today. We've come to Messina in Sicily, which is the harbour that my Nonna and Nonno left from when they came to Australia. From what Nonno's told me, it took around a month for him to get from Messina to Australia, so a similar time frame as it took Gung. I guess one of the main differences for Nonno was that he was leaving behind his wife and 2 children. You can imagine it would have been such an emotional time for everyone hopping on those boats. There would have been a lot of emotion at this harbour.
If Nonno was here now, imagine what he would have thought.
Yeah.
wouldn't believe the changes. Oh, can you imagine Nonna?
She would have been a wreck.
And all the noise and all the emotion. Ooh.
That would be something that I'd find so devastating, having to leave your friends and just being so isolated and away from them. But can you imagine just going to another country where you can't, like your conversations are stripped right down because of that language barrier. Like you can't express yourself to the people around you because you don't know how, and they can't really talk to you that well either.
I know. And Nonna would have been seen as, you know, a real, you know, migrant, like new to the country and probably ignorant. Probably a lot of people thought the migrants were ignorant.
Yeah.
And, you know, not intelligent.
Yeah. Well, people still do. Like the hardest time of your life, you don't have a support network.
Leaving all your friends, all your family. My sense of awe and respect has just gone up tenfold.
E mi chiedo vale la pena di restare qui abbracciati mentre il giorno non c'è più e la luna da lassù fa da specchio ai nostri baci. Se ti guardo dentro agli occhi mentre già mi batte il cuore e ti dico che
I'm here in Conflenti, which is a small town where my nonna and nonno are from. I'm about to meet with a local rabbi who's going to hopefully teach me a lot more about the history and what it would have been like when they were living here.
baci di amore mi baci.
Intanto questo è un paesino molto bello, come avrà visto è molto pulito.
What would the town have been like when the Germans invaded?
Durante la guerra questa è una cittadina naturalmente chiusa, poco aperta alle influenze esterne. Quindi quando sono arrivati i tedeschi, sono passati i tedeschi nel 1943, quando c'è stato lo sbarco alleato in Sicilia, quando vedevano o sentivano passare gli aerei, andavano nei boschi a nascondersi, perché potevano sempre bombardare i paesi.
Why do you think my nonno would have wanted to leave to go to Australia?
Molti lasciavano il proprio paese in quel periodo. Gli italiani dal fine 800 fino a tutto il 960-70 sono andati all'estero, perché qui c'era molta miseria, specialmente dopo la guerra è stato lento il progresso.
Was it common for men to leave their young families behind for a few years? Because when my nonno left, he left behind his 2 children and my nonna.
Perché generalmente prima partivano i maschi per lavoro e poi richiamavano la moglie e i figli in un secondo tempo, ma poi non solo mandavano denaro, mandavano pacchi con indumenti, vestiti, un'infinità di cose per cercare di far star meglio le famiglie qui. E il progresso dell'Italia nel dopoguerra si è verificato pure per le rimesse degli emigrati, proprio per i soldi che mandavano quelli che erano partiti per lavorare.
My nonno came back to Conflenti in the 1990s and he felt like he was full of regret. He felt like the town was better and the decision he made to leave perhaps wasn't the right decision.
È stato tutto merito di queste persone che sono partite con sacrifici enormi. Lasciare i figli, le mogli per lavorare è stato un grande sacrificio, però hanno determinato la crescita e la ricchezza del paese. Del nonno è importante ricordare che era ebreo.
Okay.
Ci sono molti Vescio qui a Conflenti.
Okay, that's cool. What would it have been like for the Jewish Vescios during the time of the war?
Ecco, già durante la guerra la comunità ebraica non esisteva più. Gli ebrei sono stati completamente cancellati dalla storia. Erano un gruppo, un popolo che non doveva essere presente, perché aveva naturalmente l'ostilità della Chiesa cattolica. Dai pulpiti chiamavano gli ebrei cani, ma parla ancora l'italiano naturalmente, no?
Sì.
Quindi compri qualche libro di poesia di Butera e glielo porti.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
È il mio consiglio.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd like that.
E me lo saluti pure.
Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
What you've told
Good
me is...
luck for your trip.
Thank you, thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Thank you, Enrico.
bye.
I was really surprised that I've got, I guess, Jewish heritage way back. I didn't know that at all, so that's pretty special. I'd known that Nonno had felt like he'd made the wrong decision when he came back here, but Enrico said that the only reason why the people in this town have that life is because of the sacrifices that my grandparents made, and so I think that's something really special and something that when I go back I'll definitely talk to Nonno and try to assure him that you know, people like Enrico are so happy that they made those sacrifices. I'm here with Eleanor, who's a local resident, and we're going to go and try to find the house that my grandparents grew up in. Uncle Nick came back here, he grew up here. Well, he spent the first couple of years of his life here, and he found the house and everything, and so he took these photos and said that I should try to find the house. Maybe we'll try to knock on the door and see if anyone's home.
Or maybe we'll wait.
Maybe down.
Sì. Stavamo cercando la casa di Giuseppe Vescio. La casa d'origine, una famiglia che si è trasferita in Australia, lei è la nipote.
Giuseppe Vescio. Le dico una cosa, ma verso questa zona, sapete se già questa zona qua vi hanno già mandato qua?
A lei hanno detto che era questa casa qui.
Ah, chissà.
Però...
allora...
No, quello che me l'ha venduto a me.
No, no, sapete quale cosa forse dico, ma chi stai a sapere già anche lei?
Può darsi allora.
Ma
i due cose.
Una Giuseppe Vescio ci abitava. No, prima. Questa qua è la nipote di chi è partita in Argentina.
In Australia.
In Australia.
Non lo so.
Guardate, c'è una signora qua che
magari qualche signora anziana
è del fratello. Al limite vi faccio chiedere.
Sì, grazie. Buongiorno.
Mio cognato.
Tu cognato, del cognato suo.
Okay. Sì, i suoceri miei sono morti. Sono comprati la casa. È rimasto un figlio. Era stata bene qua, è abitata, l'ha aggiustata, che era bella. È 12:30.
12:30 arriva la figlia che potrebbe aprire la casa. Vogliono venire magari giusto per far sì, per vederla proprio, pure che è aggiustata. Alle 12:30 arriva la figlia che ha la chiave.
Ok, so Gina
è la sorella di tua nonna. Lei conosce a questa, diciamo.
La chiamavano Maria Spina.
Sì. Allora diciamo che è una casa che non è stata abitata, quindi non è...
Grazie.
Sì, prego.
Thank you.
Cioè, praticamente non era così la casa.
Nonno and Nonno's parents lived here?
Yes. Guarda, se vuoi questo qua.
Ok.
Penso che chi sta la nonna, la proprietaria, penso che era questa.
C'era un forno, che ci infornavano pane. Quando ci abitava la nonna.
Nonno and Nonno, my uncle and auntie and their grandparents as well all slept in the one bed.
Ci dico che perché a Nanna che questa casa se ne
infatti nell'Argentina era
Non Calabria abita vicino qua quel signore.
He lives here. Do you want to meet?
Pino.
Questo qua?
It's Pino.
Grazie.
La prima volta.
Ciao Pino, mi chiamo Darcy.
E mamma tua è Lina?
È nonna.
La nonna, e com'è affettuosa che si ricorda, com'era affettuosa la nonna con me, anche il nonno. andavamo sempre insieme alla querciola perché c'era molto affetto, molto bene. C'era un pochino di miseria, ma noi miseria non ne avevamo. Entrate. Vi offriamo un caffè, insomma, entrate.
Okay.
Venite. Mi ha fatto piacere.
Grazie. This is my mum. My mom.
La mamma, voleva abbracciare pure. Io che ne so. Io ho fatto l'ufficiale di Stato civile 40 anni. Ho fatto persino, inizialmente ero addetto allo Stato civile, ho fatto pure il vigile, successivamente ho fatto l'ufficiale di Stato civile, anagrafe delle militari. Siccome la nonna aveva rinunciato alla cittadinanza italiana per l'acquisto di quella australiana, il caffè.
Oh, it's okay.
È come se avessi visto la nonna, il nonno, i figli.
Grazie.
Ma c'era molto affetto perché la nonna, io non la consideravo un'amica. Per me era come una, anzi meglio della sorella, perché con la sorella litigavi, insomma, ingiuriavi. Avrei avuto piacere, che fossero rimasti insieme per mangiare tutti insieme. Se loro vengono, devono venire che dobbiamo pranzare tutti insieme. La nonna, al nonno, a tutti.
It's pretty special, even just talking to Pino then, the way he speaks so passionately about my nonna and nonno, and yeah, it's incredible to think the effect they've had on the people of Conflenti. It's a pretty special feeling, and you know, even just walking around, it feels like an extension of home already, and I can feel the warmth of people when they talk about my family, and you know, they're just so accommodating as well, like they want to feed you and everything like that. Which is, I think, yeah, just the way my nonna and nonno are. I didn't realise until I made this trip, but at the core of all these stories is family. Family who made sacrifices, family a long way from home. Those that worked hard for the people and the places they love. And the ones that have benefited from those decisions. There is direct and indirect family. And the reasons we work, travel and live is for what we get from family.
And